Good morning, everybody. It is 9 a.m. on this October 27th, a Monday, and we are starting at 32 degrees. Full disclosure, I forgot my winter coat, Patrick, so I'm good in the studio today to start down here rather than joining you up on the roof today.
Understood. Yeah, it's really frosty, and in your heels it might have been a little slippery up here too, Melissa.
Is it slippery?
Yeah, it's very slippery. Yeah, everything's kind of white, which is the frost's look. By the way, today is we dropped to 32, maybe 31, and we had to wait until the end of November last year before we had our first freeze in Buffalo. It came a whole month sooner this year, but this is more typical of average to get a frost or a freeze rather this time of the year. 35 now, it's bounced up in Buffalo. Looking ahead today, numbers are going to get right around 50 or so with sunshine. Looking to the north, there is a little blanket of clouds near the Lake Ontario shore. There may be a bit of cloudiness to work through there. That will give way to mostly sunny skies with a little easterly wind off the lake there causing some cloud cover. Otherwise, mostly sunny today. Temperatures right around 50 degrees today. Overnight tonight into tomorrow morning, 20s to low 30s. And then tomorrow, a lovely day as well with temperatures into the 50s. Although there is a system, an area of low pressure that will bring rain Thursday. It's almost a lock. And in terms of, the rain into Friday as well with some showers on Halloween. Not ideal at this point, but just a heads up. It's happened before where we get a little wet and windy on Halloween and then some showers, Melissa, lingering into the weekend.
Yeah, pretty much a spooky and scary Halloween forecast for trick-or-treating families out there. It is not looking good, Patrick.
Yeah.
And then today, again, sunny and 50, but if you're in the shade, it's going to feel a lot colder than that, right?
No doubt. It's going to, but the sky is blue, not much of a breeze, but in the shade, a little chilly. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Come down, warm up, join me down here, and we will chat more weather in a little bit. Thanks, Patrick. In our top stories this morning in Niagara Falls, dozens of people have been displaced after a fire at the Swiss Cottage Inn early Saturday morning. Fire officials say that police were actually called first to the motel around 1:30 in the morning for a noise complaint. But when they got there, they realized the building was on fire and smoke was billowing out of it. Officers evacuated the guests and some pets there. Fire crews then arrived a short time later and spent nearly 3 hours fighting that fire, which then later reignited and spread to the roof. No one was hurt, and an investigation into the cause of that fire is continuing. Polls will be open again later today. Actually, right about now they open for early voting. We're getting a look at the latest numbers for Erie County. County elections officials say that more than 2,800 people cast their ballot yesterday alone. That brings the two-day total to more than 7,000, and we're told that 1,700 of those ballots were cast specifically in the city of Buffalo. And to see where you can vote, check out your local county board of elections website. And election day is actually a week from tomorrow, Tuesday, November 4th. Take a look at this video out of Lackawanna. It shows smoke filling the air after a fiery crash on the thruway. It happened around 3 a.m. yesterday morning, right near the cashless toll gantry between Mile Strip and Ridge Road exits, and it caused delays for about 12 hours there on the thruway. Crews tell us the crash involved 2 tractor trailers. One semi was seen on fire, and just ahead of a second semi that appeared to have some rear end damage. Still unclear exactly how that accident happened, but a state police sergeant tells 2 on your side that one driver did suffer minor injuries. The fire burned through the entire rear of the trailer, leaving behind nothing but a metal frame. And also this morning, our other top story, 2 people lucky to be alive after a wild crash in West Seneca yesterday afternoon. Daybreak's Natalie Foss has more.
Neighbors tell us that this isn't the first time an accident like this has happened, and first responders confirmed with us that they've responded to incidents like this before in this area. Here's what we know about this particular crash. It happened yesterday afternoon at around 2:15. 2 people were in the car when it went over the 50-foot cliff along Clinton Street near Borden. Car landed upside down in Buffalo Creek, and the 2 people inside were rescued by emergency crews, both sustaining non-life-threatening injuries. East Seneca Fire told us that they were prepared for this rescue due to special training and experience.
The town of West Seneca has the only water rescue team, swift water rescue team in Erie County. We often go to like Zor Valley and other towns around assisting, but we have two major waterways in our town, so we're able to crew up and to get to our patients quick with having our own unit in town.
Neighbors say that this crash was not surprising to them, as it has happened before in the area. They're calling for changes to be made, including a possible speed limit adjustment and barriers to be placed in the area. But at this time, authorities have not given any indication on whether they're looking into adding barriers or lowering the speed limit, or if that's something that they're going to do in the future. On your side in West Seneca, Natalie Fass, Channel 2 News.
Natalie, thank you. Well, the longboat, the Seneca Chief, was officially welcomed to New York City this weekend after it arrived Saturday at the port of the Hudson River. Yesterday officially marked the 200th anniversary of the Erie Canal's opening. Governor Kathy Hochul was at the celebration and talked about the canal's impact across the state.
This is our story. So when people say something is too big or too hard or too daunting, no, you look back and say, but what did we do 200 years ago? We had that spirit. We had that ability to say we can find an answer. And we always did. That's what defines New Yorkers.
And the Seneca Chief's journey began on September 24th. You might remember, right from Canal Side, traveled the full length of the Erie Canal to Waterford near Albany before heading down the Hudson last week. President Donald Trump is in Japan this morning for the next stop on his three-country Asia tour. This is all leading up to a highly anticipated meeting with China's president. There are reports of a break in the stalemate over a critical trade deal. NBC's Alice Barr has the details from Washington.
President Trump arriving in Japan this morning for the second leg of his Asia tour. The trip set to culminate in a meeting Thursday in South Korea with Chinese President Xi Jinping amid an apparent breakthrough in high-stakes trade talks.
I think we'll have a good deal with China, and they want to make a deal.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent on NBC's Meet the Press announcing a framework for a trade deal to avoid President Trump's threatened 100% tariff increase on Chinese imports to the U.S.
I believe we've reached a very substantial framework that will avoid that and allow us to discuss many other things with the Chinese.
Inking a deal would help to wind down the trade war between the world's two biggest economies, while at the same time tensions ratcheting up with one of America's closest allies.
Canada has been ripping us off for a long time. One of the most difficult countries to deal with has been Canada.
President Trump doubling down on slapping an additional 10% tariff on goods coming in from Canada because of an anti-tariff Government of Ontario TV ad featuring segments edited from a 1987 radio address by President Reagan.
America's jobs and growth are at stake.
The ad ran during the World Series over the weekend, but Ontario's premier says it will stop today. No meeting over the weekend when Canada's Prime Minister and President Trump were both in Malaysia for a trade summit, leaving a mixed picture on trade as American businesses and consumers wait for the impact on prices at home. While keeping Canada at arm's length for now, President Trump left the door open to potentially meeting with North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un. As the Treasury Secretary said, the president will likely visit China's President Xi in Beijing next year, and President Trump said he would host Xi at the White House or Mar-a-Lago in the future. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
And stay with us. We're going to take a quick break. We will talk Bills and Blue Jays and much more coming up right after the break. Welcome back, everybody. The Bills are back on track. They crushed the Panthers 40-9 yesterday. And earlier this morning, NFL insider Vic Carucci joined us live on Daybreak to talk about the game and gave some props to James Cook.
The way he ran was something. And here's the thing. If there's been a consistency with this Bills season, it's that their offense runs through literally James Cook. And that's when they've been their most effective in every possible way. Still some questions about this passing game, lingering, nagging questions there, but put that aside for a moment. This run game is legit, and we've seen it now 4 times out of their 7 games. that this team has run the ball effectively.
Yeah, proving that he is worth every penny of that new contract of his. Vic, let's turn to the defense now. Really, really nice bounce back for them after ugly performances in New England and Atlanta. What'd you think about the D?
Yeah, I was really impressed. Of course, the newcomers, Michael Hoyt especially, making the impact, coming back from suspension, had a sack and a half, had a forced fumble, was so active and it brought so much energy to that defensive front, something it needed and something we saw in training camp in the preseason. He brought that to the field. Max Hairston didn't play a ton in his rookie debut for the Bills, but made a nice hit and generally played well in the time that he was in.
And Vic, when we were talking about James Cook a minute ago, you also mentioned this lack of the passing game. How much do we need to worry about this? And what's going on that Josh is just really not looking like the MVP?
Yeah, I think it's a worry. Now, Josh was asked the question, how concerning should it be, especially that first half when there were a lot of struggles. He looks uncomfortable in the pocket. He looks disoriented with everything in this passing game. Took those two really bad sacks that led to field goals when really this team was in position, of course, to have touchdowns. And maybe the score should have been even more than the 40 points they had. But it's what they're living with now. He keeps saying it's correctable. He referenced, being more mindful of his feet. And what that means is he was having problems, I guess, differentiating between routes that receivers ran that were 3-step or 5-step drops. And what's that mean? 3-step is a shorter drop back, so the route is quicker. 5, of course, longer. And apparently he was having some problem with that. I don't know this far into his career that should even be part of the thought process. He blames some of it on the jitters or whatever you wanted to call it, the eagerness of coming back from the bye, but we'll see.
All right, and Vic, the game everybody has it circled on their calendars, this matchup against Kansas City, the team, the Bills, are designed to beat in some ways. What are your initial thoughts on that?
Yeah, this is going to be the test. I don't necessarily believe the Bills are back, even though that score would indicate a resounding, obviously, bounce back from 2 straight losses. This Kansas City game will be the test. Kansas City is soaring. I mean, they are definitely back, I think, to their form, their great form that has led them to win multiple Super Bowls. Their offense has come together really well. That'll be a test for the Bills' defense, but also for Josh and the passing game. I don't know that you get away necessarily with a great running game, even though it's a great one they have with James Cook to beat the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, 40-9 sounds like a great score, but as you said, Vic, it doesn't really seem like the Bills are back yet, and hopefully they will look that way next Sunday when the Chiefs are in town. Vic Carucci, we really appreciate you waking up early, being live with us here on Daybreak this morning for all of your insight. Thanks so much. Okay, so earlier this morning, Patrick, you said, I don't know, I'm still not feeling that great. And that's kind of what Vic said too, is like, yeah, we all saw it, that the passing game was not there, and Josh Allen did not look like the MVP that we want to see. I mean, his stats are not good.
Yeah, there's been other, you just kind of want the Josh Allen that, when everything seems easy.
But at least other things worked yesterday.
No, other things did.
James Cook.
Imagine if they had not signed him. I mean, the Bills would, our offense is kind of predicated on him right now. There just isn't a lot of weapons that are getting open anyway. And it'll be interesting to see if anything's done before the trade deadline, which is next Tuesday, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So
and the Chiefs looking mighty fine right now. So.
Well, but remember how their season started. Mahomes, they were talking about, they were struggling. Mm-hmm. So, and by the way, their record, what are they, 3-3? So, or something like that? I think so. Uh-huh. So, yes, and it would be nice to put up a nice fight against Kansas City. Mm-hmm. I think I've heard various things on the line. It's been I don't know. It's gone either way in terms of who's favored.
Weather-wise, this is not looking good for Sunday for the home game, right?
I don't want to lock in a lousy forecast just yet. There's possibilities. I could see a scenario where it's really not that bad. Thursday's going to be wet. Friday's likely going to be showery and cool. The weekend, it's still a little early to get too cute. There's a chance of showers on Sunday, but to say it's going to be awful, I wouldn't say that yet.
Okay.
Did that resurrect your confidence
Maybe.
in a nice Sunday home game at 4:25?
4:25, yeah. All right, we will you will keep us updated on that Sunday forecast. After the game, did you see this? It got pretty heated between Deion Dawkins and the Panthers defensive lineman, Ashawn Robinson. So Kimberly Martin from ESPN posted this video on X showing both guys getting into, a fight there. Part of her post reads, talked to Deion Dawkins on the field, asked him why emotions were so high between him and Ashawn Robinson. Dawkins looked up at the scoreboard and said 40-9, said he was trying to shake hands post-game, and then chaos, end quote. So yeah, taking a little bit of a better look at that video, they were both in each other's faces, but Ashawn Robinson pushed Dawkins first. It's clear to see that. Don't know what they were saying, but guys trash talk each other. But then, yeah, it can't get physical like that. Come on, sore loser.
Yeah.
No? I don't know what they said.
I don't know what Deion Dawkins isn't quiet.
No.
Maybe he gave him a little something verbally.
Yeah.
To stir him
Maybe we'll
up.
hear more.
Yeah.
Media availability later today with Sean McDermott. I don't think that Deion will talk, but we'll hear from other players, I think, later on today as they get ready for the Chiefs. And also tonight, our team will get ready for the Chiefs also during Sports Talk Live. That's tonight at 7 p.m., and you can watch it on Channel 2. And stay with us. We'll have more news and weather coming up right after the break. Welcome back. Some new technology being developed is set to change the way that some people watch and experience the NFL. NBC News' Steve Patterson has more.
Make no mistake, there's nothing quite like watching an NFL game at the stadium. But man, this has to be the next best thing. Welcome to Cosm.
What is the Cosm Dome? You come in and it's like you're actually there, like you're at the game.
Using some seriously advanced tech, Cosm CEO Jeb Terry says the goal isn't just to bring the game to fans, it's immersing them in the magic of being there.
So this is it.
This is it. We're coming into the dome.
Yep.
This is the showstopper, right? And your face says it all. It's
just, well, because even this, right? It feels like I'm walking into my seat at the stadium.
CTO Devin Poolman says Cosm is leading the way in a larger trend, technology changing the way fans consume sports.
We're working week in and week out. We did over 400 live sporting events in the last year.
While Cosm brings people to the sidelines,
Perez going to the air.
Mindfly puts them right on the field for the first time.
That's Canella in motion on 1st down and 10.
This year, the company brought its POV cams to the players of the United Football League, hoping their take on live sports will recapture fans.
As you see there's the virtual measurement.
This NFL season, we've already seen new technology take the field. Sony's Hawkeye Instant Replay, changing the game itself and viewers' experience, replacing the traditional chain gang, which physically measured first downs. Back at Cosm,
the best way to watch a sport ever. So I've been to every Eagles game.
Fans say they're eager to come back for more immersive tech.
Is this the future of how we should be watching professional sports?
Look, there's nothing better than being at the game itself. There is an energy about a live sport and in that facility that we're not trying to replace and that we never will, right? But for other fans that can't be at this stadium, that can't go to the game, that want to come out and have a great experience, we don't think it's the future, we think it's the now.
A night in the stands, transporting fans in ways we never could have imagined. Steve Patterson, NBC News, Los Angeles.
Okay, so he was reporting from Los Angeles. That appeared to be in Philadelphia since they were all Eagles fans. I'm thinking, could this work in Buffalo? First of all, we don't know the prices of tickets to watch a game in the Cosm. And second of all, to get a city or the county to agree to put a big sphere type dome thing so that fans can watch it there after spending so much on the brand new stadium here, I don't think it would be allowed here because but the new Highmark Stadium PSL and ticket prices so many people out that I think that's a wonderful opportunity to allow others to watch the game, get that game atmosphere, and not have to put up the PSL prices and ticket prices.
And with the way that the game now is so enjoyable from home, I always fear, like, are people going to stop going? Because, oh my gosh, I can watch it elsewhere and have a better experience. But ticket prices are still high, the demand is high, they're selling out everything. Remember back in the 70s and 80s, you know, Highmark, or back then Rich Stadium, didn't sell out, so they had to blackout games. But yeah, it does seem very cool, though, to get a bird's eye view that some people would never get.
Yeah, and sometimes it's also hard watching the game in person. I would, on some days, prefer to be on the couch watching the game so I can really take it all in and be laser focused on it. So that kind of seems like the best of both worlds. Like, you get the announcing, you get to really pay attention, but you also feel like you're at the game. So I think it's a really good combination of the two.
Yeah, no, it's true. And sometimes the way I like to consume football, I like to get some perspectives on, you know, from the on-air commentators to what social media is saying. And when you're there, there's a delay, or there's huge amounts of Wi-Fi going on, so everything's a little delayed. But still going is special, but sometimes it's a lot easier.
You also get invited to parties, like, during the game for away games. I'm talking about it. Southern South Buffalo.
Oh, yeah.
Friend DJ Jixter has these big parties, and you're very close with him. And Patrick always comes back from these parties, and he's like, I wish that people wouldn't talk to me so much. I just want to watch the game.
Just talk, you know, not just to me, but they're just like, yeah. I'm like, dude, the game's on, you know.
I know. I'll tell you about the forecast during the commercial break. Let me watch the game.
Well-hearted fans, but it just sometimes it's like, even, you know, at home when the kids are talking, it's like, you know, Dad's watching football here.
Right.
Quiet time.
You do love talking to people, though.
I do.
As long as it's not during a game. All right.
Wait to the commercial.
Exactly. Okay, you and I had a fun night on Saturday. We got all dressed up to help MC the Catholic Health Gala at night to recognize and honor some people and organizations who do great things for Catholic health. 6 people were recognized for their outstanding service and commitment to the community at the Catholic Health Gala. And the theme of the evening, why you see flamenco dancers here, was a night around the world. And so there were there was the Japanese tea ceremony, and there were some African drummers and the flamenco dancers. So that kind of made it nice and festive there. Huge crowd, hundreds of people, a really great night.
It's really a wonderful event to bring together all of the people who want to support Catholic health and all of the hospitals, healthcare services, and programs among the entire Catholic health family.
And yeah, we saw the live performances there. There was a live auction also with some great prizes. And there we were. I always love seeing you in a tux. I love the bow tie. You look very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was a great night.
I did look pretty good, didn't I? I'm just kidding. You looked lovely. We had a lot of fun. It was a good time, and huge crowd. I mean, the place looked sold out. So.
Walking into it, though, I was like, did I not get the message that this was a Halloween party?
Why?
Because everyone at the Statler was dressed up for Halloween.
That's right.
The Statler and the convention center are right across the street. And so I was in line at the valet, and I see everyone in costume. I'm like, what is going on? I'm in this gown. But there was the witch's ball at the Statler.
Yeah, so the downtown was kind of hopping on Saturday night with lots of different groups going on. Even there was a big thing going on Chippewa on Saturday night.
Halloween bar crawl?
The bar crawl, right. So, yeah, at first I was like, dude, this, let's make sure we get to the right venue. But, yeah, it was great. Nice to be there and to be involved. We've been involved with them for a couple years.
Yeah, we've done the Catholic Health Gala a couple years. And then November 8th, we have one more that we're getting dressed up for. That's the Cystic Fibrosis Gala. That's coming up at the Powerhouse. You and I are emceeing that one also.
In South Buffalo,
Yes, and my Selfless Among Us story that's going to be airing this coming Wednesday is about a doctor who is very involved with the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. She led research that happened here in Western New York. The first trial for a breakthrough drug happened right here in Western New York. And that drug is a game changer for cystic fibrosis patients. And so that's Dr. Drusi Borowitz, and I'm featuring her in my Selfless Among Us series. She literally has treated every single person who has cystic fibrosis in Western New York has gone through Dr. Drusi.
Wow.
And so that's coming up on Wednesday on Daybreak, that you can see that story. She is incredible. And a lot of people don't know that there's so much game-changing research and care being done here in Western New York for cystic fibrosis. So that's a fun night also, honoring people in the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. And they also recognize rising stars in the ceremony before the Cystic Fibrosis Gala. Remember, Patrick? You're looking at me like you have no idea what I'm talking about.
The rising.
The kids who participate in the business school thing.
Okay, gotcha.
Get their awards. I'm really not describing this
That's
very well.
right. Okay. It's the children that play a big role in.
But they're more like high school and college kids.
We don't mean children, but yes, and that's a nice thing that they kind of highlight on that event as well. Okay.
Okay. That's about it for now. We've got Daybreak again tomorrow from 4:30 to 9:30. Thanks for tuning in with us here. And we will see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.